Shabbos. שברחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שברחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שברחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שברחים גם יחד. שברחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שברחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbos, good evening. Welcome to Congregation Dor Tamid in our Friday evening Kabbalat Shabbat worship. It's wonderful to be here with all of you as we welcome in this Shabbat, this day that we are given as a gift each week to be able to put away the rest of the week and really be present with our community, with our family of friends here in the congregation, as well as all of you who are joining us online through our virtual community, and we welcome you as well. We come into this Shabbat as we join together in this moment, in this place, to celebrate with one another, to support one another, to pray with one another, and to open our hearts up to the heart of the world. But we do that by first turning off or silencing our cell phones and electronic devices, and by turning to page 128 to sing these songs.
Yedid nefesh avarachaman, avarachaman. משוכבך אל רצונך, אל רצונך. ידיד נפש אברחמן, אברחמן. משוכבך אל רצונך, אל רצונך. ירוץ עבדך כמו אייל, ישתחווה אל מולדתך. ידיד נפש אברחמן, אברחמן. משוך עבדך אל רצונך, אל רצונך.
As we welcome in Shabbat, we, as we do each week, bring light into creation. And to kindle our lights tonight, I'd like to invite Leslie Penuel to the bima to light the lights as we all turn to page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Page 124, we read responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. We turn now to page 130 as we enter into the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat, beginning with Psalm 95 as we sing joyously together, Lechu Niranen.
Lechu niranen al Adonai, Nariya litzlo yishenu, Nekad mafana betoda, Mizmirot nariya lo. Page 131.
We turn now to Psalm 99 on page 135. Adonai enthroned on cherubim is sovereign. Peoples tremble, the earth quakes. Adonai is great in Zion and exalted above all peoples. They praise your name as great and awesome. God is holy, mighty ruler who loves justice. It was you who established equity, you who worked righteous judgment in Jacob. Exalt Adonai our God and bow down to God's footstool. God is holy. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu. V'hishtachavu lehar kocho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Together, exalt Adonai our God and bow towards God's holy hill. For Adonai our God is holy. We turn now to page 138 as we prepare to welcome in the Sabbath bride with the singing of Lechadoti. We will sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and when we reach the 9th and final verse, we will rise and face the door of the sanctuary, hoping to catch a glimpse of and welcome the Sabbath bride as she enters our presence. Please join us.
Lechadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shahamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, b'shmiyanu el ha'miuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litihila. Lechadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi makor ha'beracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'mashchema tehila. Lechadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva oret umi, uri, 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 shir daberi, kivod Adonai alayik nigla. Lechadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Boi b'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi kala. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
We remain standing as we turn to page 144 to transition into our evening service with the Shema and its blessings using the words of the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Be'almad yivarach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. B'chayechonu v'yomechon uv'chayei techol beit Yisrael. Bagala uvizman kariv v'immeru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'le'almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitshomam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha berechu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'immeru amen. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Barechu et Adonai Amorah. Baruch Adonai Amorah le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Please be seated as we turn to page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravi.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael Amecha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot u'kimu mishpatim Otanu lemadeta Otanu lemadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbenu v'kumenu na'asiyach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratcha uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu be'orech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. V'yahavatcha tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We continue responsively on page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, טובה תהילו, עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Moses and the children crossed the sea. They sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha neder b'kodesh. Norah tehilo. Osei pele. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all
Page 162, at the bottom of the page, we sing these words that remind us that today should be a day of joy as we enter into Shabbat.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונה שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונה שבת. מקדשי שביעי שבת, כולם ישבעו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונה שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונה שבת. רצית בו וקידשתו שבת, עמדת ימין, אותו קראת שבת. שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונה שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונה שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת, זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונה שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונה שבת.
We turn now to page 164 as we rise from Tefillah.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Adonai sepakai tida, ufi yagid ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'roma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'roma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu. B'yam kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu. B'yam kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom b'roma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu.
This week in our Torah, we read Parshat Hukat from the book of Numbers, and the Parsha begins with a very odd ritual that we are given. And I say odd in a very particular way because even the ancient rabbis thought it was a strange ritual. The Torah says, "Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe ve'el Aharon lemor, zot chukat haTorah asher tziva Adonai lemor." The Eternal One spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "This is the ritual law that the Eternal has commanded. Daber el bnei Yisrael vayikhu elecha para aduma tmima, asher ein ba mum asher lo ala aleha ol." Instruct the Israelite people to bring you a red heifer, a red cow without blemish, in which there is no defect and on which no yoke has been laid. The Torah is very specific about what this cow should be. It needs to be a red cow with no blemish, which our rabbis understood to mean that it must be completely red and that it couldn't have a yoke put on it. The only time for any sacrifice that detail is included. And this para aduma, this red cow, was to be taken by the priests, turned into ashes, the ashes then mixed with water, and the mixture of ash water from the red cow was to be sprinkled on someone who was considered impure, who had become ritually unclean because they had done any of the number of things that could make a person ritually unclean. Now, the rabbis of the Talmud questioned this ritual, and they asked, why the red heifer? Why this way? When there are plenty of other ways that the Torah has given us over the last number of weeks and months through Leviticus and Numbers to purify oneself, to purify a space or an object. But in this case, we're given the ritual of the red heifer. And the rabbis come up with different ideas and different solutions until finally Rabbi Yochanan says, it's this way because God said so. As a parent, I can understand that. As I tell my kids, I said so, when they ask why I've made a decision. But we have this ritual here that's given in very, very fine detail that the rabbis couldn't understand. The rabbis knew this ritual was important because God said so, but they didn't know why further than that. And throughout our year, throughout our Jewish calendar, there are those rituals that we have that, well, Jews just do them. We don't often have a better explanation than that. Picture being a person not familiar with the Jewish community, coming across the synagogue in late September or early October, or this year, very late October, and you see a bunch of people standing outside, waving leaves and a lemon in the air. Now, we know it's not a lemon, it's an etrog, it's a citron. But to the outside mind, this is a strange ritual. Why do we put artwork on the outside of the doorposts of our house? Now, we know there's a scroll in there that provides a heavenly or spiritual protection to our dwelling places. Why do we bend and bow and lift up on our toes at different points of our service? Sometimes ritual has meaning because we can understand the meaning. Why sometimes do we bow at Baruch and sometimes we don't? Sometimes the ritual is there because it's the ritual. And the rituals are important because sometimes they have that very clear underlining meaning, and sometimes they're just there. And they connect us to something bigger and broader and wider than ourselves. They connect us to one another. They connect us to our history. They connect us to the divine. And so as we go through our ritual calendar each year, through our services, through our holidays, of which we are starting to think about the holy days coming up in the fall, there are going to be those rituals that maybe we don't understand, maybe seem unfamiliar even to those of us who grew up with it, who lived it our entire lives. But I urge you, as we go through these next number of months, to embrace the ritual, to embrace those moments when even the unfamiliar can allow us to dig deep in with ourselves, to dig deep into our tradition, and to connect to one another and to God. Amen. We take a moment now in our service as we think of members of our community who are ill. Some are in the hospital, some are home recovering, and some have diseases and illnesses from which they may never recover. This week we think especially of Harriet Jacobs, Ruthie Villa, Beverly Mahone, Bert Singerman, Diane Frontman, Nancy Nichols, Judy Hassett, Sam Gervich, Yuda Mercado, David Rafaelov, Ana Rivka Bat Yosefa, Chrissy Murray, Rachel Pereira, Brianna Jacobs, Peggy Heinley, Irene Duke, Lauren Kernis, Myron Katz, Michelle Mandel, Jan Delavsky, Joe Radowski, Ethel Rubenstein, Arlene Silver, Sarah Bat Abraham Visara, Stan Israev, Karen August, Elizabeth Del Valle, Anne-Marie Ross, Stephen Perel, Sheila Fagis, Adrian Traeger, Susan Rachel Stockel, Stacy Ford, Sandra Sloven, Marcia Heisler, Catalina Del Tet, Gary Swartz, Tom Bradford, Janelle Nichols, Robert Cohen, David Sankey, Stanley Bissell, Richard Jacobs, Brooke Jacobs, Carolyn Eisenhart, Brian Berger, Chandler Jacobs, Yael Bat David Valea, Alan Friedman, Jill Vantine, Eleanor Goodman, Libby Routman, Marjorie Whitmore, Paul Kershon, Reva Fisher, Leslie Knight, Mateo Velazquez, Max Jacobs, Kathy Waldner, and Christopher Denton. If you are thinking of someone who's in need of a prayer of healing, I invite you to share their name with the community as my eyes meet yours, or if you're joining us online, to add their name at this time to the chat. We think of all those we have named and all those we hold in our hearts, and we ask for God's healing presence to be with them. We also ask God to watch over victims of violence around the world. May they be blessed with healing, hope, and love. And we ask God to watch over those who care for the sick each day. May their hands and their hearts be blessed with wisdom, compassion, love, and support as we ask God to watch over all of them and all of us. We offer this blessing on page 371.
Sheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We turn now to page 377 as we rise to offer a prayer for the state of Israel. Sha'alu shalom Yerushalayim, yishla'u ohavayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goralo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael reshit smichat geulatenu. Again aleha bevrat chastecha, ufros aleha sukat shlomecha, ushlach orcha v'amitcha l'rosheha, tzareha v'yatzeha, v'taknem be'atzei tova milfanecha, v'natata shalom ba'aretz, v'simchat olam le'yoshveha, v'nomar.
Amen.
Together, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. We remain standing as we turn to page 586 for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula li'yotzeh b'reshit, shehu noteh shamayim v'yoseh haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo begovei meromim, u'Eloheinu einod, v'anachnu kore'im u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo echad.
Please be seated. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24 and each moment then. In the faces of men and women I see God, and in my own face in the glass. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, for I know that wheresoever I go, others will punctually come, forever and ever. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. At this sacred moment of our Shabbat evening worship, we think longingly and lovingly of those taken from us both recently and at this season in years past. We are in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days since their funerals of Lucy Eskenazi, Seymour Rossman, and Marlene Slavkin. And we mark the Yartzites, the anniversary of their passing on this Shabbat, of Leslie Friedman Davis, Bill Hirsch, Jill Romaine, and Harry Saraski. If you are remembering someone on this Shabbat, I invite you to share their name with the community as my eyes meet yours, or if you're joining us online, to add their name at this time to the chat. Zichronam livracha. May all of their memories continue to be a blessing as we take all the memories of those named into our hearts along with the memory of the millions of our people who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Praying that all of their memories will continue to be a blessing, and praising the source of life, we rise as one community and turn to page 598 for the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uvizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach leolam la'mei maya. Mitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, huya oseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all the bereaved here and everywhere with the blessing of peace. Together we all say,
Oseh shalom b'imromav, uyaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, amen.
our closing song this evening can be found on page 625. Please join us in singing Adon Olam.
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam.
Asher Malach, Terem Kol, Yitzim Ira, Le'ek Nasa, Befetza Kol, Adon Olam, Shimon Yikra, Adon Olam, B'yacharei Kiklot HaKol, Lefa'ado Yitlom Nora, Adon Olam, Vehu Haya, Vehu Oleh, Vehu Yebetifera, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, V'terem Kol, Yitzim Ira, Le'ek Nasa, Befetza Kol, Adon Olam, Shimon Yikra, Adon Olam, Vehu Echad, V'yek Sheni, Le'aptilo Le'apira, Adon Olam, Ve'li Reishit, Ve'li Tachlit, Ve'lo Ha'os Ve'ha'misra, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, V'terem Kol, Yitzim Ira, Le'ek Nasa, Befetza Kol, Adon Olam, Shimon Yikra, Adon Olam, Vehu Eili, V'chai Goli, V'tzofem Li B'yizara, Adon Olam, Vehu Nisi, U'manosi, Meknakusi V'yom Mekra, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, V'terem Kol, Yitzim Ira, Le'ek Nasa, Befetza Kol, Adon Olam, Shimon Yikra, Adon Olam, B'yado Afiduchi, V'yishami Ya'iva, Adon Olam, V'yinuchi, V'yati, Adonai V'lo Ira, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, V'terem Kol, Yitzim Ira, Le'ek Nasa, Befetza Kol, Adon Olam, Shimon Yikra, Adon Olam.
Please be seated. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
Wonderful being here with all of you in the sanctuary, as well as all of you joining us online as we celebrated welcoming in this Shabbat together. Just a few brief announcements before we conclude our service with Kiddush and Motzi and a closing benediction, and then join together in the social hall for an Oneg Shabbat. This coming Monday, we have Mahjong at 1 o'clock. On Tuesday, there's the Knitting and Crochet group at 1, and Men's Club Cornhole is at 7:30. On Wednesday, there is no Torah study this week. We're taking a week off, but the Sandwich Project will meet at noon in the kitchen to do that important mitzvah of feeding the hungry. On Thursday, there's Mahjong at both 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. And next Friday night at 7:30, join us for Kabbalat Shabbat services and anniversary blessings. If you have a July anniversary, come for a blessing next Friday night. And then next Saturday at 6 p.m. is our family movie night with s'mores as a dessert, so we hope to see you there. A special thank you this week. We like to thank members of our community who have gone above and beyond to help us out in a variety of different ways. And so this week we want to thank Matt Gable, Matt Herman, and Zach Friedenson for donating coordinating, setting up, and putting on a phenomenal fireworks display last Saturday night at the conclusion of our 4th of July weekend Mike and Amy concert. So thank you to all of them, and thank you, Mike, for a great concert last weekend. That is what's going on in the next week or so, but there's a lot more coming up as we move through the summer into August with the beginning of religious school, with the beginning of, or the end of camp for our CDT Early Learning Academy, and the beginning of their first year of school. So if you have young people in your lives that need a place for preschool, or you know people who have young people in their lives who need a place for preschool, have them give us a call because there is still space available. And we are so excited for the school year with CDT ELA. And then just also keep watch out over the next number of weeks, not yet, but next number of weeks, for information about the Chagim, about the high holidays, which aren't till October this year, but we're already starting to plan for them. We are going to say Kiddush and Motzi now, so I'm going to invite the young person who has not yet celebrated becoming a bar bat mitzvah that is here to join Mike and I on the bima for Kiddush. I'm going to ask everyone to turn to page 123, and if you are able, please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'yava uv'ratzon hinchalatanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat L'chaim.
And we uncover the challah as we sing together.
Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Motzi lechem min haaretz. B'tei avon.
And as they have the first piece of challah on behalf of all of us, we ask for God's blessing. Adonai ozle amo yitain, Adonai barechet amo v'et kol v'nei adam b'shalom. May God give strength to our people, and may God bless all of us, all of Israel and all creation with the blessing of peace. Together we all say, Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.